Alright, so for number 5, we're taking a look at our first kind of quadratic here, or a few questions back also dealt with finding the roots of a quadratic, so I guess technically our second quadratic related question. It says, which point is not on the graph represented by y equals x squared plus 3x minus 6? So similar to when we did lines, for a point to be on a graph, it has to satisfy the equation. Works for linear functions and obviously for any other type of graph. Has to satisfy the equation. In other words, what does that mean? If I plug it in, it has to lead to a true statement. I'd get something like 5 equals 5. If I plug one of these points in and I get 5 equals negative 2, obviously the point is not on the graph because it can't even make the equation work. So that's one way of doing it. We can sit here and plug in all 4 choices, replacing the x value with the x coordinate and replacing y with the y coordinate. A little bit quicker here, I think it would be faster if we type this into y equals. This way we can just look at all 4 points at once and see which one does not belong. So just the phrasing of the question here, only one point is not going to work. So I'm going to type it into y equals. I'm going to hit second graph to get my table. And let's start with negative 6. So for negative 6, we're looking for negative 12. That is on our graph, so that's out of the question. Our next one would be negative 4, negative 2. We also see that there. And again, by looking at the table, I'm kind of actually showing points that are on this curve. We could have gone through it by plugging in, but this is a little bit faster. 2, 4 is also on the graph, so just by process of elimination, and we'll make sure in a second, 3, negative 6 we should not see in our table. And we see 3, 12. Okay, so our answer here is choice 4. If you're really careful and you want to make sure, you want to kind of double check yourself, maybe you made an error typing in, we can see that if we plugged in 3, negative 6, this is what we would get initially. 3 squared, we're going to get 9. 3 times 3 is also 9, minus 6. 9 plus 9 is 18. And 18 minus 6, we're going to get 12. So when we plug in that fourth choice, we get negative 6 equals 12. We said earlier, a given point must satisfy the equation. It must lead to a true statement. In this case, it does not. So we've just verified that choice 4 is our correct choice here. Thank you for watching, and hopefully this helped.